Hello and welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. I know it's been a while, and before we get back into the game proper, I have some thoughts. Okay, so backtracking a bit, before I even started the fourth door, I got the tip from Jack and Elias, thank you, to check the backlog a lot in this chapter. Now, I assumed that I would clearly see when I needed to do that. Like, for example, if you think back to before we knew the white-haired girl's name, whenever someone like the maid was addressing her with her name, that would be only access for us. I thought that it would be something like that, where we could then check the backlog and get more information. Or maybe if something seemed just really odd, which I didn't think so far. Like, of course, everything is odd here, but you know. So that's why I didn't make use of the backlog before. But if you remember, I noticed that the first encounter between Giselle and Michel that we were shown here was somewhat different to the one that we saw in the mirror, even though it seemed to be the same scene. So I was mentioning how it could be like unreliable memories, just because it's been so long, I don't know. But we could also be dealing with an unreliable narrator. So if you think back to the second door with Bestia, what we were shown was how he himself, how he saw himself as the beast. But other people like Pauline saw something different. So at the time, it was basically the maid showing us that one version of the beast, of Bestia. That guy. Yeah. And this time, she's showing us that one memory. So, are we sure that what she's showing us is what really happened? We could even get into the philosophy of there not being one universal truth, because everything is up to perspective, right? Things might have happened differently if you asked someone else. Also, everything comes down to who we are as well, but I'm going to get into that in a minute as well. But either way, I was thinking about this, about how the memories of different people might be different. And then, that is when I had a look at the backlog, and I will show you the cursed man. Yeah. So before we get really into the story, this is what we have in the backlog. Now, if you don't remember, this line at least I looked up what it said to be sure. So what we were shown, what the white-haired girl said is, he's a decent man, I'm sure of it. We are alike, he and I. Now you see it's X'd out. So, was that really what she said? I cannot go too far back with this backlog, it stops at some point, but I saw that wherever something's X'd out, it's only in dialogue, not in the narration. Which doesn't need to mean anything. Yeah, and some seem to be a bit more random, like when they were talking about the books, like why would... Like this one is more curious, that the names would be X'd out like that. But something like the books. Yeah, could you tell me your name? But then they're talking about names here anyway. So some of these words, I don't think they're that meaningful. But yeah, the names especially, that's a little odd, isn't it? So yeah, something is definitely going on, and I mean, you could play this game without ever checking the backlog, and I'm sure it will reveal itself as what it is anyway. at least I hope. But it's an interesting way to make use of this game mechanic. Yeah, so I will try and remember to check the backlog now and then in this chapter to see if we can find some more of these, yeah, kind of fishy, X'd out things. Now again, what it all comes down to with this whole game, like what our purpose is here, to remember who we are, who the you we are currently playing is. And when we were first shown that memory in the mirror, my thought was, like my only, options that we have for now are either Michelle, or what I thought might also be a possibility is Giselle herself. Now, I'm not too sure on that one, because one, we've seen her through all of these memories over the years, and we've also, like, I thought maybe at the point where we learned her name would be like the kind of revelation that that's really us, but that doesn't seem to be the case, because it didn't, like, hearing her name didn't trigger anything, it seems. But yeah, so right now I guess my money would rather be on Michelle, unless it's something completely else. Now, there is one thing that I noticed when I was checking some of the sim forums. So I tried to stay away from spoilers, but I did read just some, headlines of threads. And I hope this isn't a spoiler, maybe it is in some way, but some people were asking about Michelle's gender. And I don't know if it's just because people are confused about a long-haired character or the name. Michelle, the way it's written here, is definitely a male name. But there is a female version of the same name if you just wrote it with another L and an E. Normally, that's the, I think, most common version. And it's pronounced the same. So in the Japanese original and katakana, you could write it the same way. I don't know if that means anything, but especially because here where the white-haired girl said he's a decent man, and this is now X'd out. Does that mean anything? Or is it just because he called himself a witch? I don't know, but I have a feeling because several people asked about it that it is going to be a thing in some way. I'm just really curious as to what will even happen in this chapter, because I don't have that much of an idea. Like the other ones, you could take a wild guess of the general direction, right? But here, very interesting. I have some notes here that I have to consult because my thoughts were really all over the place. Right, so both Michelle called himself a witch, and Giselle said she was basically shunned and called a witch. And she was agreeing to Michelle's guess that it partially had to do with her white hair and red eyes. Now Michelle is the same. So does that also have to do with his supposed curse? Or like, what is the connection here? I also find it very curious that in this chapter we have so far not seen Giselle's sprite. Though, like, again, to be fair, Steam is a bit, like, spoiling us here because there is a Steam card that shows a sprite that I think we will see in this one as well, eventually. Yeah, which I think also matched the shadow that we saw when we went to the master bedroom when we were exploring the mansion. Which is also another clue, but because when we got the key for the master bedroom, it was described as being familiar. So who would it be familiar to? Michelle and Giselle, right? Well, I think there's a lot more to reveal here, but what I'm also very, very curious about is what role the maid plays. Because she didn't appear in this chapter yet, she's only here as the narrator so far. And yeah, we don't really know her role yet in this whole origin story. I'm not sure we can trust her. I mean, from the start we could not be quite sure, and especially when she was showing us those memories that might not have been quite truthful. Yeah. Oh right, and one other thing about Michelle that I don't know if you noticed, I did notice it, but in the last episode, like when he and Giselle were introducing themselves or meeting for the first time, the image of him glitched for a moment. And I went back and checked, and I didn't see like any difference between like before and after the glitch. But it was there for a reason, obviously. I didn't comment on it because, yeah, I'm sure everything's going to be revealed at some point. But just in case someone did not notice, because I didn't say anything. Yeah. I think that is it for now. So, yeah, that was enough of a ramble, I'm sure. Had to get that out. This is just, that was my thought process after the chapter that I couldn't get down that quickly. So, now finally, let's get back into the chapter, The Cursed Man. It had been about a week since the white-haired girl had taken up residence in the mansion. Staying in that house deprived of light was, I imagine, a very claustrophobic experience. To anyone blessed enough to have sunlight as a part of their everyday lives, it would have been unbearable. But for her, the mansion, with its prison walls and lack of either illumination or recreation, was the one place she could find respite. She and Michelle continued to be distant, however. He spent most of his time in his chambers, which he had explicitly told the white-haired girl to stay out of, leaving her unable to close that gap. Nonetheless, on the occasions they did cross paths in the hallway, their eyes would meet, if but briefly. It was never for more than a few seconds. Whenever she saw him, she made a point of giving him a little smile. He never said anything, but still, when she had first arrived, he would not have even met her gaze. He seemed to be taking more and more notice of her. One day, the white-haired girl stood in the cellar, a frown on her face. Well, this is troubling. I can't go down to the village, but if we don't do something soon... The cellar was where their food was stored, an assortment of non-perishables and dried foods, smoked meats and cheeses. Her daily meals were taken from the supplies there. However, the stockpile was beginning to grow quite small. Yeah, I've been wondering about that. There aren't any servants around yet, are they? Are there? And, well... Wait, Michelle has been living here for years, he said, right? So, yeah, how do you get food? You get it delivered, right? Something like that? Were she not on the run, she could have gone to the village to procure more. Or perhaps, were she a little tougher, she could have captured a wild animal for its meat. But master, you know a young delicate thing like her was hardly up to the task of hunting for food. What is that comment supposed to mean? Is that ironic or not? Okay, now I'm going to doubt anything the maid says. How does he normally get his supplies, I wonder? From there, other questions about Michel started rising in her mind. No matter how lifeless he seemed, surely he still had to eat, right? The white-haired girl nodded, then made her way out of the cellar, intending to head for his bedchamber. Yeah, get some answers. But on her way there, she spotted him standing by the entrance, staring motionless at the door, lit by a single candle. He appeared to be waiting for something. May I ask a question? Go on. I was just down in the cellar, and I noticed we were running low on food. Do you normally go down to the village to restock? I haven't been outside in 10 years. Then how do you... What if I told you I don't eat? What? That I am not of this world. And as such, I have no need of sustenance. What would you think of that? That sounds very, economical? If you can survive without having to eat, that's one less thing to worry about. If it were possible, I'd like to have that ability too. It would seem trying to frighten you is a waste of time. Was I supposed to be afraid? Never mind. It doesn't matter. You asked about the food in the cellar. It's getting to be about that time. Wait, and you will find out. What do you... It's here. Oh? If you want to know where my supplies come from, open the door. But, I'm in hiding. There's no one at the door anymore. The knock is nothing more than a signal. A signal? The white-haired girl turned toward Michel to press him for more information, but he averted his gaze. Find the answer yourself, he seemed to be saying. She took several moments to gather her will, then marched over to the door. So bright. The sunlight, which she had not seen in some time, was so bright it seemed to burn her eyes. Although the sun itself had not gotten any brighter, she had simply spent so much time in the dark, her eyes were no longer accustomed to that much light. The color of her eyes made them quite sensitive to light already, so when she stepped outside, her whole world went bone white. The white-haired girl stood motionless for 10, perhaps 15 seconds, and when her eyes had finally adjusted to the light... What's this? She noticed a crate on the ground at her feet. She turned her head back to ask Michel about the box, but the mansion was so dark it appeared to be wholly severed from the outside world. From where she stood, she was unable to distinguish Michel from the shadows. A pang of nervousness struck her. She wanted to return to that darkness as quickly as possible. The white-haired girl had come to yearn for that world without light more than the one with. The crate was fairly hefty. The slightly built girl had considerable difficulty bringing it into the house. But eventually she did manage to drag it through the front door. And then everything went dark once more, except for the faint flicker of candlelight floating in the air. You can leave it there. I'll take care of the rest.
What's...
Without a word, Michel approached her and the box, withdrawing a knife that he had evidently kept hidden somewhere on his person. With it, he cut through the rope that bound the box. Go on, open it up. At his insistence, she placed her hand upon the lid. She had no idea what lay inside this unexpected delivery. Whoever had brought it was already long gone. Staring at the strange box, she was racked with nervousness. However, what she found when she pushed aside the lid, was completely ordinary food. And no one is surprised except for her. Is something amusing?
It was just rather anticlimactic. Here I was, worried about what might be inside.
We were just talking about the supplies in the cellar.
So, we were. It completely slipped my mind. This should last us for some time. It's all preserved, just like what's in the cellar. But I don't understand. Who would deliver all of this to you?
There should be a book in there as well. I see. I thought he had it ordered, but then it... yeah, how would he... send the money? If he isn't even, taking the box personally.
What? Oh, there it is. In the library, he said that his family sends him one book a month. Does that mean this box came from them? If so, then why did the person who delivered this leave without speaking to him? What happened between him and his family? Is he here because they want him here? Or because he chose to be here?
Take the book to the library, please. I will bring the rest of the supplies to the cellar.
But it's a big box. I'm sure you could use some help carrying it.
That won't be necessary. Take the book and go.
But
Fine, then stay here. I'll take care of everything.
Wait. Hold on, please.
What is it?
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. And, I'm not trying to pry, but I can't help but be curious.
Say what you have to say, please.
I was wondering if you could tell me why you live here, in this mansion. Why did whoever delivered this box leave before you even opened the door? Could you perhaps be imprisoned here?
I told you this the very first day. I am cursed. It's only natural for a cursed man to live in a cursed house.
Yes, but that's such a vague answer. I don't understand why you're in the situation you are. I don't know how you feel about it. There's so much I don't know. And I'm not even sure if your curse actually exists.
I see. That is a perfectly reasonable doubt from your point of view. Having been branded a witch because of your appearance, it would make sense that you would think my curse might be fabricated, or perhaps a metaphor for something else. All right then. Come with me.
What?
I'll show you my curse. Okay, but before we get into that, I am so sorry, but we have to get back into the backlog now and then. Because here we go again. I'll show you my... Because that's what I've been thinking as well, if what he means by curse is just a metaphor. Like, whether he knows it or not. Is there anything else that seemed off? I don't think so, because that was pretty straightforward, and this delivery, like knocking and just leaving the food, that reminded me of an experience I had in the hospital that I might talk about someday. It's not bad, I swear, but just a bit funny for me. Oh, I haven't been outside in 10 years. Is that right? Question is it longer or shorter? Down in the cellar. Do you? Running low on food. Like, I'm sure not all the words mean something. Some are very obviously, like, could mean, have a deeper meaning, but like something like food could, doesn't have to. And also have to think, like, this is all translated from Japanese, which I think they're doing a great job of it not sounding like stilted or something. I haven't played the original, obviously, but so far I would say they're doing a great job. But sometimes I'm also wondering if, like, an element like this made that hard. I mean, something like pronouns are not necessarily used in Japanese. You could, in case you don't know, you can get away grammatically with a sentence not having a subject. So you don't normally use like he and she in a sentence. Which could be another hint that there is something going on with Michelle in regards to that, but okay, please. I want to know to show me the curse. As he turned on his heels, the white-haired girl caught a glimpse of what appeared to be a smirk on his face, like the whole thing was some kind of sick joke. That smile carved into his mask was far colder than any look of annoyance or rejection. But despite the twinge of nervousness, she still followed after Michelle. As much as he might have stood out in a crowd, with such height and long hair, his presence was almost entirely eroded away by the darkness. She felt that he could simply fade away into nothingness at any moment. Many things are buried here.
Huh?
Mice, insects, wild cats and dogs. Have you ever thought it strange how little life there seemed to be around this mansion?
You're right. I haven't seen a single creature since I arrived. The only sound you can hear is the wind blowing. Now that you mention it, it did seem peculiar.
They were all killed by me. Or rather, they lost their lives because of me. You have your answer now. A butterfly fluttered its way into the ruined garden, dancing up and down through the air. Michel held out a finger before himself, and the butterfly, mistaking it for a branch, drifted down upon it to rest its wings. Had the scene stopped there, it would have been a picturesque moment. All that comes in contact with me loses its life. My skin, the breath I exhale, my flesh and blood, is poison to all life. But the butterfly's movements began to slow. It spread its wings in one last futile attempt to fight gravity. And then, without warning, it shriveled up into a dry husk.
It's dead, all dried up and lifeless. Like it's been dead for days. It's like his finger drained all the life out of it. Is this his curse? Is that even possible? But I saw it with my own eyes. If this is his curse, though, it explains much.
There are more than just insect and animal corpses buried here too. Servants who came to visit me long ago.
Are here, beneath the ground, under our very feet.
That's why the servant leaves before I open the door. Should he touch me, should he get near me, his very life is in danger. No one is interested enough in seeing me to take that risk. No one will have anything to do with me. Nary a soul even wishes to see my face. Now you understand what I meant when I said I would eventually kill you.
So that's why you have never once touched me. When I knocked the books down in the library, you didn't offer your hand to help me up. And only one of us ever made contact with the box at the entrance at a time. When I offered to help you carry it, you refused. Because you didn't want your finger to accidentally brush against mine.
My actions were not out of concern for you. I simply dislike people. Others' interests mean nothing to me. I mean, when you have to keep them at arm's length, like literally, that's kind of a thing that happens, I guess. What an odd face you're making. Do you not believe my curse is real?
No, I do. It is certainly irrational, inexplicable, unbelievable. But you've shown me more than enough evidence. And I don't believe you're lying to me right now either.
In which case, you now understand how dangerous it is to be near me. You said that if you left, you would be killed. But it's been some time since then. If you're careful to cover your tracks, you could make your escape. You do not belong here.
He was telling the truth about being cursed. What a cruel burden to have to bear. I can't imagine just how much he's given up on. How many lives he's inadvertently taken. And how he must have felt every time it happened. How much pain that loneliness must have given him. How much despair he must carry in his heart. How much sorrow must be weighing down on him. So, no. I will not leave. I will stay here with you.
Leave this place.
No, I will not.
Why? Why do you insist upon remaining in this house after learning what I can do? You have no reason to stay.
Tell me then, Why do you try to drive me out? If you don't care for others, as you say, if you're not concerned about anyone else, then what does it matter what I do? What does it matter if I die to your curse? You're a very kind-hearted man. You've been watching out for me since the day I arrived, doing whatever you can to not inadvertently kill me, to not afflict me with your curse.
No.
Here's what I think. No one capable of showing genuine care for others can honestly, truly dislike all people. They can't possibly be indifferent.
No,
That day we met before the stained glass window, you heard me out. You listened to my plight. You didn't try to chase me out. That day, I thought you to be a good person. And I still believe that.
I simply assumed you would leave on your own when it was safe. I never thought you would be so foolish as to want to stay in a house like this with a man like me.
How does that make me foolish?
Do you not value your life? Are you not afraid of death? Do you not find me unpleasant?
The thing I fear most is loneliness. You're probably right that, by now, I could safely sneak away, get myself somewhere far from here. But even if I did, I would inevitably find myself in the same situation. The only way I can avoid that fate is to stay away from everyone. To live in solitude, with no one to talk to. I know you understand how that feels. It terrifies me. I'm afraid of having to spend day after day with no one to talk to, no one to share my experiences, my thoughts, my feelings with. If that's what awaits me out there, then I want to live with you. I want you to be an essential part of my life.
Impossible.
Please, don't chase me out.
You are a cruel girl. Never again will I allow myself to get close to someone, only to watch them die. Never again. My mother was the first to die. It happened shortly after my birth. Next was my wet nurse. 2 deaths could be considered a coincidence. But as the number rose, it became clear that I was cursed. And I was forbidden from making contact with anyone, even at home. Regardless, being in the same house, accidents will happen. Numerous people lost their lives. Attendants unfamiliar with me, or those who simply brushed up against me by mistake. I couldn't take it any longer.
So, you chose to move here, to this remote mansion, to keep yourself away from your family. You weren't imprisoned here. You elected to live alone, so you wouldn't hurt anyone.
For better or for worse, I was born into a noble house. So, rather than abandon me, they've provided me the means to live out of sight.
I will be very careful. I will do everything I can to ensure no accidents occur, to keep you from being alone again. I will not, for any reason, touch you. You have my promise. Your curse takes the life of anything you touch. I've been here for a while, and death has not befallen me yet. As long as I do not touch you, there shouldn't be a problem. Also, I apologize if this is simply me reading too much into things, but I feel like we're two of a kind. I fear being utterly alone more than anything. And I think you understand just how scary that is. So,
why are you so stubbornly insistent on being me, on it being me? I'm sure there's someone else out there. Someone you're meant to be with. You may not have found them yet, but I believe someone like you eventually will. Because unlike me, you still have the vigor to press forward.
It has to be you. I'm certain of it.
Why?
Because, well,
You can't tell me?
No, I can, just, please don't get upset with me. I think I might really, really love you.
Okay. I didn't think the curse would be that straightforward, to be honest, and also that immediate. Like, when they had the... Okay, before we get into that, we have to check the backlog, of course, but... Yeah, when the butterfly landed on his hand, I thought, okay, it's probably going to just fall to the ground, but for it to really just shrivel up... Okay, and if we imagine what can happen maybe to the people he touches... that's not great and would definitely be seen as a curse, and I don't think we have any rational explanation for that either. Like, that's no regular illness or something that might have just been misunderstood back in the day. Unless, again, the memories are wrong. This is... oh boy. Okay, let me just see. Let's move here to this remote. Okay. So this might be a little fishy here. My mother was first. So it's really, yeah, the things that really mean something that we cannot really trust is right. But it's still just a dialogue that we're not sure about it. Kind-hearted. Why is only kind-hearted X'd out? This backlog thing really gives one a lot to think about, but doesn't solve anything yet. Corpses. Oh my gosh. Movement began to slow. Okay. Well, the narration here is what the... on the one hand, what the nurse is telling us, on the other, what we are seeing. Comes in contact. What? I mean, yeah, all that it really is telling us right now is that we cannot really trust what we're being shown. That the conversation did not take place in quite the same way. It's... the only real reference we have here is the memory in the mirror versus the one we are shown, like the other version we were shown behind the door. And the scene wasn't completely different. It was them meeting, it was them, in the gist of it, saying the same things, but the tone was different. Such religious details and perspective. Odd. Also, I don't remember if I really mentioned that, but I wrote it down that we didn't get a sprite yet for Giselle in this chapter, in this doll. Still odd. Oh well. His was a power that evoked images of witches or demons, the unclean and the impure. A mere touch was all it took for him to strip man and beast alike of its life. God has quite a cruel streak to bestow such a power upon such a beautiful young man. And a strange power it was indeed, like something out of a fairy tale. Like something confined to words upon the page, it seemed otherworldly, unbelievable. Nonetheless, as he had demonstrated to the white-haired girl, his peculiar powers were indeed real. That said, the world has its fair share of oddities. It just so happens that those curiosities tend to remain hidden away, known only to a few. Although you have laid eyes upon a number of unusual phenomena yourself, Master. The doors to the past through which we have passed. This very mansion. And, as a matter of fact, the two of us. Now, as you just saw, the white-haired girl found herself enraptured with this man and his accursed power. How do you think Michel acted in response to her proclamation? He had spent so long refusing to interact with others, no, unable to interact with them. As such, he was unsure how to respond. After standing there expressionless for a few moments, he muttered, "I'll consider it." And with that, he returned to his chambers. While he was not someone who wore his heart on his sleeve, I personally do not believe he was completely devoid of emotions. He had simply forgotten how to express them in his extended solitude. So I think he was, in that moment, in a state of complete panic. She had, after all, just assaulted him with a stream of incomprehensible declarations. That, knowing the truth, she still wished to remain in the mansion. And that, knowing the truth, she loved him. The love she had declared for Michel was not a fleeting puppy love. There was genuine tenderness and warmth to her words. But he had gone through his life shunned, feared, pushed away. To him, that was normal. He had never given anyone reason to have any fondness for him. So he found himself utterly unsure how to take the affection she was showing. Of course, he was not the only one rattled by the whole affair. I'm just thinking now how literally touch-starved he must be, if we're just taking the 10 years at face value. And since childhood. Like, that's scientifically proven to mess someone up, right?
Oh dear.
Several days had passed since Michel had asked for time to think. He had still yet to show himself again.
This is all my fault.
The white-haired girl paced anxiously through the halls on the off chance she might run into him. As per his request, though, she kept her distance from his chambers. Nevertheless, she was beginning to worry about the fact that he had secluded himself away for so long. So she worked up her courage and made her way to his room.
What if he doesn't want to see me ever again? I didn't consider I might be overstepping my bounds. Before opening my mouth,
every step she took was slow and laborious. Her mind raced with worry and doubt.
I should at least tell him I'm sorry.
Rather than out of a desire to know how he felt, she was compelled by guilt and the desire to apologize. After walking for some time, she arrived at a door sitting in an utterly unlit hallway. She drew in a breath of musty air, then let it out, repeating the process several times. Next, she reached her hand up to knock on the door, and pulled it back, also doing this a number of times. Oh, how adorable she was. I wanted nothing more than to give her a little nudge. Okay, where are you in all this then? You're saying you want it? Right? After all, she was too sweet a girl for her worries to be anything but misplaced. Oh, now I don't remember if, did the maid tell us that this took place before she entered the picture or not? Who are you?
I just can't find the courage. Maybe I should come back another day. But what's the point of waiting? I need to apologize and get the weight off his back now.
She gathered her courage once more, this time determined she would do it. The white-haired girl moved her small fist toward the door, which then swung open.
I'm sorry.
Please, you must announce your presence. I almost walked right into you. Are you in that much of a hurry for a mishap?
I'm sorry.
And I believe I told you to stay away from my chambers.
You did, so I spent a long time debating whether I would, but I decided I really wanted to tell you this.
Oh, well, actually...
I am truly sorry.
What?
The other day, I could barely manage to get the words in my head all the way to my mouth. There was no room in my mind for anything else. I shoved my own thoughts and feelings into your face. Not considering that might not be what you wanted. Just running non-stop, not thinking at all. I was terribly disrespectful to you, completely selfish. You're a kind-hearted man. I truly believe that. But you were only being courteous because you're a nice man. I'm sure you have little interest in the affections of a queer little girl. So... I would love it if I could stay here. It would be a wonderful blessing. But if you really don't want me here, if my feelings are imposing upon you, then I apologize. I'm sorry, and I'll take my leave of this house. I'm sorry.
Don't be... my mind went blank for a moment.
What?
I find it difficult to comprehend you. The other day you were firm in your intentions to stay, and now you say you'll leave without a struggle.
You holed up in your room for so long that I thought, you didn't want me around. To be honest, I want to stay here. I do.
I think you should do whatever pleases you.
Huh?
You can stay, or you can leave. I will not pressure you to do one or the other.
So, I'm not imposing?
To tell you the truth, I had to think about that for some time. However, I have now come to something of a solution. Since you're here, come into my room.
What? But I thought I wasn't allowed to.
To prevent what almost happened a few moments ago. So we don't accidentally run into each other.
Sorry.
You're forgiven. Now, come in.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense that it's because of this. Just to not forget, we have to... Oh. What? What is this? Okay. So we get something more than access. Interesting. Okay. Anything else? Something before she knocked, maybe? No, I don't think so. So... yeah, so far it's only been dialogue, right? I mean, dialogue that was affected by the backlog. But this... huh. Okay. Thought. Theory. Considering I think the maid does play a major role in this. Well, she was saying to us before that she wanted to give the girl a nudge. But was that true? Or is she jealous? Did she put the curse on Michel so he cannot touch anyone else? Something like that? I mean, for the white-haired girl to be like reborn in all these eras, something must have also happened to her. And that's what I've been pondering as well. If she was also cursed to relive all the tragedy, or what I was thinking today, if Michelle didn't want to like see anyone else, like not get close to anyone and then have to see them die, did he, inadvertently or not, curse the white-haired girl to be reborn over and over? For her to not completely vanish? But this... okay, this... things like this make it... really make this worth it. Okay. Oh boy.
Is this a necklace?
If that's what it looks like to you, then I suppose that means I succeeded. Pick it up.
It has a little bell. It's adorable.
Please make an effort to wear that while you're in the house. Because it's so dark, there will always exist the risk that we might accidentally bump into one another. So I tried to come up with a way to reduce that risk.
Does that mean you didn't leave your room because you were working on this?
That's right. What other reason would I have?
I think most people would assume it was because they had put you in a bad mood, or that you didn't want to see them.
I have little sense of how most people see the world.
Sorry. I appreciate it though. I'm really glad to know that you put so much thought into a life together with me.
It would be difficult not to, after the other day.
I'm so happy right now. I can't think of any better word to describe it. I couldn't be happier.
You're being dramatic. To tell you the truth, I feel a little bad about it.
Why?
It seems rather impertinent to affix a bell to someone. You're not livestock. You're a person.
That's why you turned it into a necklace? Thank you very much. I'll keep it on me at all times. I really, truly appreciate it, Lord Michel.
Don't call me Lord, please.
Alright then. I'll just call you Michel. And will you please call me Giselle?
The windows.
What?
If we could open the windows. Never mind. I was just thinking you wouldn't need the bell at all if we could get some light in here.
They can't be opened.
They're rusted shut. All the windows have been shuttered for as long as I've been here.
I assumed you had boarded them all up.
That was done long before I ever arrived. After so many years here, though, I hardly consider it an inconvenience anymore. I'm just thinking, so the mansion was abandoned and supposedly cursed before Michel arrived, so the maid could very well be connected to the mansion. It could have been before all this. It also serves to repel wanderers.
Oh, really?
Is there something odd about that?
No. It's just, I realized I had the wrong impression about a number of things. As I learn more, I see things in a different light. See you in a different light. And I'm sure there's still plenty more for me to learn.
Of all the people I have ever met, you are perhaps the most difficult to predict. Not only do you have no aversion to the darkness,
The dark has always been a close friend of mine. Which isn't to say I dislike the sun. Its light can simply be a bit too strong for me. I'm like some kind of unholy monster that can't be exposed to sunlight.
You are anything but unholy. my name would suit you much better than me. Right. What was that? What? Wait, I need to take a second. Oh my god. What a beautiful story. Much better than the real thing, is it not, my dear? Yeah. Yeah. And there we have our definitive proof. We are not shown what really happened. Sad. Images are slithering into my head, replacing memories before they can surface. Stop. Oh. Wait, so the yelling before, that was us? This? We assumed that it might have been the maid going like, no. That was probably us. Us fighting the true memories. Oh, now my mind is going all kinds of ways. If he's screaming after inviting her to his room. Don't know about that. But yeah. Much better. Oh boy. That day, when I first saw Giselle, I was wary of her, apprehensive. I didn't want her anywhere near me. But as my doubts about her faded, I began feeling something very different. As though the lump in my heart had been melted away. I began to yearn for her to be at my side, knowing full well it couldn't possibly last, knowing full well how foolish it was. I found myself captivated by her. I found myself wishing to have her stay with me. What? Excuse me? What was that? What? Stay with me, okay? Did you kill her? Did you eat her? What were those noises? What? What? This is... Just when you think you have it figured out and you're getting somehow a clearer picture, it all gets taken away again. Oh boy. Okay, I think I'm going to have to stop here, lest it become a huge, like a very long part, even though I'm so curious about this now. But let me save this. What is the name? A Ray of Light. I sure hope so. I mean... Okay, now I'm torn again between wanting this to... Like, I want a ray of light, I want a bit of hope, I want a nice story, okay? At the same time, we want the truth, right? We all want to know what really happened, but illusions can be so nice. Oh, wow. Okay, that's quite something. And I guess we didn't need to theorize so long and rambly about memories not being necessarily true to what they appear to be. Yeah, I would really appreciate any thoughts and theories you might have. Keep away from the spoilers, and I know some people are watching this that already know the game. Thank you so much for your input and for sticking with this. But yeah, I would really be curious what you all think. I'm really enjoying this. Please never think I don't if I have these long breaks in between. That's just all me. I'm just in hibernation mode. But maybe you've seen I recently started uploading some vocal covers on the channel in addition to Let's Play. So if you're interested in that, I would appreciate if you could check it out. But yeah, I guess for this, that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. Would appreciate any comment you have, and until next time. Bye bye!